Okay, so let's just skim through this polynomial division unit. You're dividing with terms, doing long division with remainders, with no remainders. More polynomial division, which I've already shown you how to do. Now factoring using polynomial division. So for these ones, you want to do the polynomial division and then factor your answer, which you should already know how to do because we know how to do factoring, right? So you factor your answer and then you write your answer. After you factor it out, you write your answer with your whatever you were dividing with and with whatever you factored your answer to be. So you're just factoring your answer, right? So basically you're putting these in binomials that look like this. So this is what you do for these ones. That's why it's called factor using polynomial division. Okay, so these are super easy. It says, what is the remainder when p of x is divided by x minus 3? Well, what would make this 0 out, right? If you equal this to 0, you would get 3. X is 3. So that's what you are going to plug in for x. And whatever you get is your remainder. So if I plugged in a 3 for x, I would get 3 to the 4th power minus 2 times 3 to the 3rd minus 3 times 3 squared plus 4. And a lot of students have a hard time plugging stuff in. You got to be careful with all the integers and what to do first. Order of operations, you do your exponents first, right? That's why you learn order of operations early on in algebra. This gets me 81 minus 2 times 27 minus 3 times 9 plus 4. Okay, multiplication next. 2 times 27 is 54. 3 times 9 is 27. And then we want to move left to right. We have 81 minus 54 minus 27 plus 4. So my remainder for this one is just 4. So I plugged in a 3 because that's what I'm dividing with, and that's what would zero this out. And whatever I get after I plug it in, that's what my remainder would be. So you can even do it by looking at the graph. So what would zero this out? A 3 for x. So look where x is a 3. What's your y? Your y is your remainder, which is 1, right? So if I plugged in a 3 for x, what would I get for y? 1. That's my remainder. So that's how you do it, by looking at the polynomial graph. Now this says, what is the value of k? Well, I need to plug in a 2. It tells you the remainder is 10, so you know that this is equal to 10. So your remainder is equal to 10. I'm plugging in a 2 for x. And I'm solving for k. So this is basically just solving equations. So we're solving for k, which is right there. Okay, so now exponents first. 2 to the 4th power is 16. 2 squared is 4. 4 times 3 is 12. This gets you 2k minus 2. So now this is equal to 10. Like I said, 16 minus 12 is 4. 4 minus 2 is 2. So we have 2 times 2k minus 2 to the other side. You get 8 is equal to 2k. Divide both sides by 2, and k is 4. You should already know how to solve equations. I'm just showing you, just plug in 2 for x, solve for k. For these, super easy. What would make this 0 out? A 6. Okay, so when you have p of 6, what do you get? -5. That's my remainder. For this one, what would 0 it out? A -4. Okay, so p of -4 is -1. So that's how you use the remainder theorem in multiple scenarios to find the remainder. And so for these, it says select all polynomials that have this as a factor. So whichever one of these will get you 0 when you plug in a 3 for x is your answer. So you would plug in each one, right? So let's look at how they do it, right? So they plugged in each one. We're plugging in 3 for each one for x. So for A, we got 0. For B, we got 42. For C, we got 0. And D, we got 0. So my answer would be A, C, and D. Whichever ones get you 0 when you plug in a 3 That is your answer. Find the value of C, so the polynomial is divisible. Okay, well then you would plug in a 4, right? Let's look at this one. You plug in a 4 for X. What would C be? You would solve for C and you would get 2. So just what I had done in the previous one. Same thing here. You plug in a 1, whichever one gets you 0, that's your answer. So you would get B and C would get you 0. And that's that. Same thing here. Plug in a 3. I solve for C. So it's kind of like a lot of repetition. You're just doing long division, plugging stuff in. There's some factoring. There's some solving equations. So if you have any questions on any of these, let me know when you're doing the unit test. Good luck. So like I said, let me know if you have any questions or need additional videos.